Welcome to the Harper Classroom series of instructional videos. This video is on time conversions. The agenda for this video is first I'll define the time standards I will use, and then perform time conversions when the time is in the denominator of a variable, when time is in the numerator of a variable, and when time is in the denominator of a random variable, specifically a normally distributed random variable. Let's look at the time standards. The time standard I will use in this video is 1 year is equivalent to 4 quarters, 12 months, 52 weeks, 260 days, and 2,080 hours. These standards imply a certain set of relationships. For example, 2,080 divided by 260 is equivalent to 8 hours per day. 260 divided by 52 is 5 days per week. 52 weeks divided by 12 months is 4 1/3 weeks per month. And 12 divided by 4 is 3 months per quarter. But these relationships can also be combined. 5 times 8 is 40 hours per week. 5 times 4 1/3 is 21 2/3 days per month. And then 3 months per quarter times 4 1/3 weeks per month is equivalent to 13 weeks per quarter. So now, let's look at the time conversion when the time is in the denominator. Example 1. When the time is in the denominator, divide by the conversion constant for a decreased time. For example, to transform demand from 1 year to quarters, you divide by 4. From years to months, divide by 12. Let's look at some examples. If I want to convert my demand from 6,240 items per year to items per quarter, I divide by 4. To convert from years to months, divide by 12. Years to weeks, divide by 52. Years to days, divide by 260. And to transform 6,240 items per year to 3 items per hour, you divide by 2,080. Example 2. When time is in the denominator, I multiply by the conversion constant for an increased time. So from quarters to years, I multiply by 4. To convert from months to years, I multiply by 12. For example, if I want to convert my demand from 1,560 items per quarter to a year, then I multiply by 4. Month to a year, multiply by 12. Week to a year, multiply by 52. Day to a year, multiply by 260. And to transform 3 items per hour to 6,240 items per year, I multiply by 2,080. Example 3. Let's combine these two together. So if I want to convert 1,560 items per quarter to 120 items per week, I highly recommend transforming quarters to years and then transforming years back to weeks. For example, if I want to transform quarters to weeks, I transform quarters to years by multiplying by 4, and then years back to weeks by dividing by 52. This procedure I have found to lower the likelihood of making mistakes. Next, to transform items per day to items per month, I transform days to years by multiplying by 260, and then years back to months by dividing by 12. So now let's convert time when time is in the numerator. Example 4. When time is in the numerator, multiply by the conversion constant for decreased time. In other words, if I want to decrease the time from years to quarters, I multiply by 4. Years to months, I multiply by 12. So to convert from 3 years to quarters, you multiply by 4. Years to months, multiply by 12. Years to weeks, multiply by 52. Years to days, multiply by 260. And to convert 3 years to 6,240 hours, you multiply by 2,080. Example 5. When the time is in the numerator, divide by the conversion constant for an increased time. To convert quarters to years, you divide by 4. Months to years, divide by 12. So to convert 12 quarters to years, you divide by 4. 36 months to 3 years, divide by 12. 156 weeks to years, divide by 52. 780 days to years, divide by 260. And 6,240 hours to 3 years, divide by 2,080. Example 6. When time is in the numerator, we can combine these. To convert 12 quarters to weeks, we convert quarters to years by dividing by 4, and then years back down to weeks by multiplying by 52. Next, to convert days to months, we convert days to years by dividing by 260, and then years back down to months by multiplying by 12. So now let's convert time in the denominator of a random variable. Example 7. Time in the denominator of a random variable, where our random variable, for example, is stochastic demand, which follows a normal distribution, with a mean of 6,240 items per year and a standard deviation of 52 items per year. To convert years to quarters, for the mean, we transform years to quarters by dividing by 4. But for the standard deviation, the procedure I recommend is to convert the variance and not the standard deviation. So if I take the standard deviation and square it to get the variance, I transform the variance from years to quarters by dividing by 4. And then take the variance, take the square root of the variance to get the standard deviation. Putting all this together, to convert standard deviation from 52 items per year to quarters, I square the standard deviation to get the variance. I transform it from years to quarters by dividing by 4, and then take the square root of that variance back to the standard deviation. Example 8. To convert the normally distributed random variable with a mean of 520 items per month and a standard deviation of 22.9 items per month, to convert the months to weeks. Well, for the mean, converting months to weeks, I recommend converting from months to years by multiplying by 12, and then years back down to weeks by dividing by 52. But for the standard deviation, to convert variance and not the standard deviation, the 22.9 items per month, we square it to get the variance, and then to convert the months to years, we multiply by 12. To convert years back down to weeks, we divide by 52, and then take the square root of that variance to get the standard deviation in weeks. So this ends the Harper Classroom video on time conversions. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.